All right. And there goes YouTube video, podcast audio. Everything's going. Everyone is on board. Trigger warning. All right. We're only going to cover one story on this one. Try to narrow things down. Have some ideas without do the program. Because I figure, you know what? Even though the Phoenix Calida show, I sit there and I'm telling myself this. Right, when I say this shit to you, the folks tuned in, I'm really trying to tell myself this. That's swap content, and that's not wine cellar content. Phoenix Calida's name is kind of connected to the wine cellar.
Yes.
So I can't front on it. So it's like, Phoenix Calida's program, that is like a whole extra ass show. Right? And it's like, fuck it, can't front. It is wine cellar content, but it's for swap, because she is the communications director. So it's like, and Phoenix Calida does short programs, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, short swap programs. Folks that are assigned to the Patreon get them early, right? Like, it'll be Wednesday in about some hours, but the folks on Patreon, they have the Wednesday episode already. The Monday episode from this week, the folks on Patreon had that shit on Friday last week. Mm-hmm. You know, so they were up to date on those stories. While the folks that aren't on Patreon, they're like, oh shit, I forgot what happened in the last episode. Now I gotta go fucking rewind it, because I don't know what happened. Oh no. That's how people who aren't on the Patreon talk. They go, oh no.
I don't think that's how they talk.
But people like that are on the Patreon, they be like, damn, cuz, that shit goes hard. That's how they talk.
That's not how they talk.
Yeah, that is how they talk.
That is not how they talk.
These are the facts.
Who made these facts? These are not facts.
I'm a cis hetero male. They're all facts. Everything I say is a fact.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Folks, Michael Brown's mother is running for Ferguson City Council.
Nice.
All right. We'll see what's going on there. Not in this episode, though, Chief. Oh, yeah, folks, let's say it again. Trigger warning. A white Iowa teenager raped a 1-year-old on video and will be getting no jail time.
What?
Yep. And a right-wing pundit called Pete Buttgiggle a sodomite and called him, I don't like this word, this is an ugly word, but I'm doing a verbatim quote, called him the king of cocks. Which I gotta,
seriously,
and I'm gonna keep it all the way greasy here, folks. Look, man, I have my doubts that he's the king of cocks, not even the sultan. Okay.
Well, he's married to a very nice man. Oh. Also, speaking of that guy, but I don't even know how to say his fucking name. Like, that's how not serious I take him.
It's Buttigieg.
Buttigieg?
Yeah.
Whatever. So somebody was asking him if he would support like paid family leave and whatnot, and he's like, yeah, actually me and my husband are gonna have a baby, so it's a personal matter to me. And I was like, you're having a baby while, like, you're planning a baby while on the campaign trail, like, you fucking opportunist ass motherfucker.
That's like, who, man, I think that was a Democrat that was running somewhere in the South for like a state Senate seat and did that shit. Yeah. Oh, well, this is also a Democrat. Okay, hey, there you go. Fucking. But yeah, I don't, I think that's bold. And you said this individual's married, so are they even poly?
I don't think so.
So how are you the king of quote unquote cocks?
I would give it to Chris Crocker myself.
Chris Crocker? Why are your decibels so bad?
I don't know.
Sit forward.
What? I am. It's right in front of my face. I can touch my face and the microphone at the same time.
Venus always turns her head from the microphone and looks at me. Turns her head from the microphone, looks at her phone.
I'm talking directly into the microphone that I can touch with. I can touch my face and the microphone at the same time. It's not far away from my face. My hands are not that long. That's the leave Britney alone guy who does porn now.
That's the king?
Yes, he's hilarious. I've seen him suck dick on Twitter. He's quite impressive with it.
That's what happens on Twitter. That's Twitter.
That is because, well, you know what? Because they closed everything else down. You can't post anything sexual on Facebook. You fucking Instagram is wow. Instagram is banning everyone because they're also owned by Facebook, and then Tumblr shut down all the porn accounts, so all the sex workers and porn accounts are now on Twitter. So as I'm scrolling my timeline, I just periodically say, oh, hey, someone's getting a blowjob. All right. Oh, all right. A little anal. All right. Some bondage. Okay. Someone's licking the toilet seat of an airplane. All right.
And, yeah, whatever the fuck Phoenix is talking about. Apparently there's a feeling cute challenge, which the internet, so anything that ends in the word challenge this is where the dorks ended up. All right, the people that, because I didn't know where they ended up. Like in 1995, I'm stepping into junior high school for the first time, trying to look cool, be cool, talk cool, and there's some kids with these things called magic cards, and one of them pops up and like gets in my face with his magic card. He's like, I'm destroying you with my river, and I'll never forget that moment. And apparently that's where they are now. They do challenges online, right?
Yes.
So they had the feeling cute challenge.
Yes.
And a bunch of cops did it, and they just talked about brutalizing people. Cops and corrections officers. We'll share some of those images about a woman outside of Walmart calls 911 on a man because he looks illegal.
Did you know Roy Moore is running again to take back the seat he lost to Doug Jones?
Well, actually, where is that?
Alabama.
Alabama's, I mean, I'm just going to guess here. Alabama's been rolling back voting rights laws?
Yeah.
All right, so he's got it.
Well, he's already at the head as far as the GOP contenders, so.
Yeah, he's fucking got it. And I mean, and remember, Democrats, you have less and less support. The more you play into trying to get Ilhan Omar murdered, and basically the more Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the one from California that said "fuck y'all punk ass kids,"
Feinstein,
that Daniel Feinstein, who Cory Booker, basically
Kamala Harris,
the bloody lot of you. The more you say and do things, the more you lose the left vote, which you should stop calling your base. The left vote is not your base.
No,
all right,
centrist. That's your base.
Yeah, class privileged white women, class privileged black people, and I don't know,
class privileged gay people.
Oh shit, class privileged get that don't want to be log cabin Republicans.
Right.
Yeah, but the left is not your base. Quit fronting like we are. We're so not. We don't fucking like you. We should really get to the real story.
Yeah. Also, I want to see if Trump actually talks, like says words about Bernie Sanders, but he had thoughts about the town hall.
Oh, said Crazy Bernie's out there?
Yeah, Crazy Bernie. So weird to watch Crazy Bernie on Fox News. Not surprisingly, Brett Baier in the quote-unquote audience is in quotes, was so smiley and nice. Very strange. And now we have Donna Brazile.
That's fucking amusing. And I mean, you lefty heads that tune into this program, I know you heard the audio or seen the video already where Sanders basically fucking rocked the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he's been doing. Keep in mind, I don't know much about all the other politicians other than they're lawyers and business people and cops. But Bernie is actually a political scientist. That's what he went to college for.
Right.
So don't be surprised that he fucking rocked the crowd. All right.
But Donut Twitter said.
Oh, fucking yeah, fuck them. I don't care.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about calf cramp lady too. But I need to get more receipts together, which is hard because she blocked me.
Calf cramp lady?
Yes.
You don't have a backup account?
No, I don't actually.
Ooh, somebody doesn't know how to use social media.
I had one, but that it was linked in with my Facebook, and that Facebook got deleted by Facebook. So.
Oh, so like you actually made the Twitter account from the Faceboos?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we are going to talk about
Malaysia Booker.
Right, who is a trans woman who was assaulted. And I've got like 6 tabs open on it, and I'm just going to read a little bit from each one to get the chronological order of the story.
Yeah.
Right? Because there were a lot of updates like very fast. Like within 2 days, there's like 6 updates. So this is the first story. This is from April 13th. And this is on the StarTelegram.com. A transgender woman was assaulted by a group of people Friday night in Dallas, police said. Dallas police were called to the Royal Crest Apartments at 3558 Wilhurt Avenue. That's an unfortunate name for a street. Wilhurt? Like, will hurt you? Me?
And for this to happen there.
Right.
That is fucking, that's
dark irony.
Yeah, that's the goddess of irony is angry.
And it happened at 11:23 p.m. For reports of an injured woman. The woman had been in a minor traffic accident at the apartments when multiple people attacked her and called her homophobic slurs, police said. The assault was captured on video and posted on Facebook by Saturday, 5 p.m. So, this says Friday, so Saturday, 5 p.m. So, not even 24 hours later, the video had been shared over 2,000 times. The video shows a group of people standing around an intersection in an apartment complex. A man in a white shirt starts to hit the woman in the face, and she falls to the ground. Others around her then start to kick her. After about a minute, a group of women held up the woman and carry her away. Mayor Mike Rawlings condemned the assault in a statement Saturday morning. Said, quote, "I am extremely angry about what happens to be mob violence against this woman. Those who did this do not represent how Dallasites feel about our thriving LGBTQ community. We will not stand for this kind of behavior." And then, of course, as they finish up the article, this attack is being investigated as a possible hate crime. If you have details, call the police, right? So that's how it started.
Yeah, and so it was on video.
Yes.
And I saw the shit, and now I went back and looked through my shit and found out because Fox Giselle shared it, who is actually friends with Cat Black. They took a picture together recently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Fox Giselle shared it, and that's how I saw it while I was on break at lunch, and I think that was Thursday or Friday that I was on break at lunch and fucking saw that shit, and And again, this is how, remember, I'm a cis person. Even though I talk about these stories, I'm a basic ass cis person. I thought this was a cis woman getting beat. I didn't even stop and think because I didn't read comments or anything. I just saw the video, and then, I got to get back on the floor at work. I'm on the shift still. And I'm seeing this nigga with the white shirt and the blue bandana punching this woman. And like really cocking back and throwing these fucking haymakers, and like I kept thinking, and it's like, I'm gonna say it out loud, this fucking word that I was thinking about another black person, like fucking animal. And people that listen to the podcast know I normally say that when we're doing a white on white crime story or something like this. If you look at that video, it's like fucking animal. It's like now like I'm as a black male walking down the street, I could see why like a black trans woman or a black cis woman could see me and see me the same way that I see like a fucking a Rottweiler or a pit bull. Like I'm walking way the fuck around that. I'm actually might even turn around, go home and try again tomorrow. I'm not going near that because that does what happens in that video, maybe. Fucking animal, man. That was a horrific fucking video.
Yeah. And so then that was the 13th. So now this is the 15th. This is an update. This is still on the Star Telegram. So a Texas man has been arrested, accused in beating of transgender woman, according to Dallas police. So a 29-year-old man, which also, you're fucking 29 and you're beating up girls. You're 29. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And when the camera pans around, like, so, I mean, that's the sad thing, man. It's like, what are you fucking doing? Right, you said 29 in the street. What are my fellow black people doing, man? Because there was like 50 niggas out there.
Right.
Doing what? Waiting to gleefully beat the shit out of a woman, trans woman? I don't think they really would have cared.
No.
Trans or cis,
no, they probably would not have.
Fucking animals. My fellow black people.
Yep. Yeah. And so the arrest has been made now. So he's a 29-year-old man in custody accused of the attack on a transgender woman on Friday at a Dallas intersection. His name is Edward Thomas. And he was booked at the Dallas County Jail Sunday night on faces of aggravated assault with serious bodily injury. The video was posted to Facebook, showed several people punched and kicked the victim who suffered serious injuries in the assault. Witnesses took the woman to a local hospital after the attack. Dallas police are investigating if this is a possible hate crime. There could be more arrests. Yes, it's a fucking hate crime. Like, I mean, I would even say, even as a woman, that was a hate crime, but they made it very clear they knew this person was trans and were using homophobic slurs. So, yes, it was a fucking hate crime.
And then look at the class part of it. What you said? The cis women took her away and what?
Took her to a local hospital.
They didn't call an ambulance because niggas can't afford ambulance bills.
Yeah.
They didn't try to put those bills on her like that. Give her a fucking ride.
Yeah. Dallas police said the assault occurred shortly after 5 p.m. Royal Crest Apartments, Willhard Avenue. We already went through that part. The woman, again, they mentioned the minor traffic accident, right? And so then they mentioned the video, right? A man in a white shirt starts to hit the woman. She falls. Others start to kick her. After a minute, women help her and carry her away. The victim identified herself through a family member to Star Telegram media partner, WFAA, as Malaysia Booker. The family member said Booker suffered facial fractures and that her right arm is in a sling.
Fractures.
You know how hard you have to hit someone in the face to break their face?
And you think, like, again, like I said, I was looking at that shit, watching that nigga chuck those fucking haymakers. And then, like, before she was completely out, she was trying to run away, like, hunched over, stumbling. And this fucking animal fucking grabs her back, reaches around and, like, hooks in a fucking another one from under. And then you look at the nigga's mugshot, like, your neck is not that thick because you're frail. Right. That's a big, strong motherfucking animal. Like, excuse me, I'm bugging. Okay.
Yeah. And so she identified herself. She told police that the people who were beating her were using homophobic slurs and released a short statement thanking God that she's alive. And then, of course, they go back to the mayor, made a statement. Thomas is being held in the Dallas County Jail without bond. And they also updated the police, right? Instead of just calling the police, they have a specific contact and number. Detective Christopher Evans is the detective in charge of this case now, right?
Yeah.
So that's the second update. And now we get to this. It turns out he was offered money to beat the shit out of her. And this is on CBS, and this is from today, actually. Today's 16th, right?
Today is, yeah, and that's what was, when you go back and you see the video, the camera's pointing forward, but then you know how people can hit the little swivel arrows on the screen, and it flips back to the person recording it and the nigga that's about to beat her, and he is like getting hyped up as if he's like getting in a legitimate boxing match. So yeah. So
now this is the update from CBS. A man was offered $200 to beat a transgender woman in an attack that was recorded as a crowd gathered to holler and watch, according to a police affidavit released Monday. He wasn't going to kill her for $200, nigga.
And that what I assume black poverty and all those folks out there, you have your hands on $200 and that's what you did with it.
Right, exactly.
That's what the fuck you did with $200, a whole ass fucking dollars.
So the woman, Malaysia Booker, accidentally backed into a vehicle before the driver of that vehicle pointed a gun at her and refused to let her leave unless she paid for the damage. Police say a crowd gathered. So, like, alrighty, hold on. So she backs into someone's car. The person she backs into pulls a gun on her, says, give me money right now or I'm gonna shoot you. People gather around to watch this, which is already like, what the fuck, man? And as a crowd gathered, someone in the crowd offered $200 to 29-year-old Edward Thomas to beat the woman. A bystander recorded a cell phone video as Booker lay on the ground while men punched and kicked her and others looked on. Several women eventually intervened and dragged her to safety. Booker suffered a concussion, a fractured wrist, and other injuries. So also note her injuries have also...
Yeah, so like, the fractured wrist was not in... Or
yeah,
the
it was
concussion.
before it was just arm in a sling. Now they've confirmed as facial fractures.
Yeah.
Right, and a concussion. Police say a second person stomped on the back of the woman's head in Friday's attack, but has yet to be charged. The LGBT community advocates expressed outrage over the attack and over the crowd that stood by without aiding the woman. Thomas was being held Tuesday at the Dallas County Jail on a charge of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Jail records don't indicate whether he has an attorney. Police say they are investigating the attack as a possible hate crime and are working with the FBI to determine whether the case can be charged under federal hate crime statutes, according to CBS Dallas. And this is just a side note. Last year, the FBI reported hate crimes increased in 2017 for the third year in a row. Booker's father, Pierre Booker, told the station that the attackers were cowards and that his daughter is traumatized from the attack. He said the attack has left him, quote, highly upset, and he has hated seeing his daughter being assaulted.
You know, that's something I don't really mention much because you don't, I think it's called giving cookies. That's not really my kind of language. But I've reached a point where I'm not even surprised when I see parents of black trans babies, like, standing up for their babies and not like fucking like, get the hell, I don't know them. I disowned them 5 years ago. Like, I'm seeing like parents of trans babies, you know, I mean, she's an adult, but you know, I'm seeing these parents more often when I do these stories. And just adding in something else, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I don't know what else has happened to her, but fucking, because I looked at her Facebook timeline, you know, to see what's going on, and like, she's a person, you know, like she posts goofy shit like people do on the Facebooks, but also like a lot of posts are like, hey y'all, help me celebrate my auntie's birthday. Oh, this is my favorite nephew and it's his birthday. Like fucking normal person shit. And but then there's one, and these are public posts, and it's from 2018 toward the end of November, and it looks like she had been attacked before. I mean, I don't know what the situation was, but there's a facial injury. You know, it looks like, is that called what we're looking at here? We don't have it on the video, but is that a laceration?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be called a laceration.
What did the comments say? Did she comment about what happened?
Let me see. Damn, there's 90 motherfracking comments. Jesus Christ. Right now, this was not part of the show prep.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Oh,
somebody said,
fuck.
What happened to you? And she said, that nigga busted my silicone open.
And somebody said, you need to come home.
Damn.
So, yeah, well, somebody cares about it.
And she said, I'm at home. He got all my stuff.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, so this was like an abusive relationship, maybe.
Maybe. See, and like somebody else left a comment saying that punk ass, wait, that punk ass hoe got you fucked up. Okay, my bad, because these are my fellow black people, but these are my country black people, and sometimes I gotta reread things and put a country accent to it, and I'm like, I got it. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Phoenix Leader wants to cover the story.
Oh, yeah.
No more William tangents.
And this is just one more article that has updates. And see, this is part of the reason that show prep takes so long, is because like we've told you the story, but there's more details, right? And you can read the same story on 3 different outlets, but each one will have, you know, a detail or two that the other ones didn't have. So it's like you have to read something, you know, 5 times to get everything, which is kind of why we're doing this, right?
The Russia domestic abuse one is the best example of that.
God.
Best fucking example. You had homophobia, you had fuck them punk ass kids, and you have misogyny and everything in that. You have free school lunch. Everything was in that goddamn story.
Yeah, if y'all, I don't even know if people remember that episode, but man. The too long didn't read version is Russia decriminalized what we would consider to be misdemeanor domestic violence. Yeah. Fucking story. All right, so getting back to this. So right, a man who beat a transgender woman. Oh, and this is BuzzFeed News. A man who beat a transgender woman in broad daylight in Dallas was offered $200 to carry out the attack, which may be deemed a hate crime. Malaysia Booker, the victim, was repeatedly punched and kicked by a group of men, as was captured in a video footage of the incident. One suspect, 29-year-old Edward Thomas, has been arrested and charged with aggravated assault. Police told BuzzFeed they're also working to identify additional suspects in the case. Now, this is a little more detail about how this originated, right? The incident began after Booker accidentally backed into a suspect's car. So this is one of the people beating her is the person's car she backed into, presumably.
Wait a second. So Now I'm assuming here. Well, what is it called? Speculating.
Yes.
Wait, so the person beating her, that was his car?
Not the guy that you saw, but one of the people that was kicking her when she was down.
That was okay.
After pulling a gun on her, mind you.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, the incident began after Booker accidentally backed into a suspect's car and attempted to flee, according to an affidavit obtained by BuzzFeed News. The suspect then allegedly ran her off the road to stop her and then threatened her with a gun unless she agreed to pay for damages.
That is not how insurance works.
That is not how insurance works. According to the affidavit, as can be heard in the video, so I guess if you go back and listen to the beginning of the video, someone offered Thomas $200 to beat up Booker following the minor car accident. As he and several other men beat her, Thomas and others in the crowd yelled, okay, I'm just going to read the quotes.
Verbatim?
Yeah.
All right, slurs?
Yeah.
All right, folks.
Yeah. That's what your faggot ass gets. Get this faggot out of our hood and shoot that punk ass. So, clearly a fucking hate crime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then of course, so that's like something additional, right? So the person who she ran into was one of the people who was also beating her. Someone in the crowd did offer this guy $200 to beat the shit out of her. And then of course, these are the specific slurs that they were yelling. So yeah, obviously a hate crime. And then of course, it says Booker suffered a fractured wrist, bruising and swelling on the face, and a concussion from being knocked unconscious. And then, of course, the several women intervened, carried her away, drove her to a hospital. According to the affidavit, for whatever fucking reason, Thomas admitted... Actually, you know what? I know the reason. Thomas admitted to the beating, but denied shouting slurs at Booker.
Oh, he doesn't want
that. He doesn't want that federal statute, the hate crime statute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. At a news conference Monday, Dallas Police Lieutenant Vincent Weddington said the incident is, quote, being reviewed to determine whether it meets the criteria for a hate crime. And Weddington called the video of the incident disturbing and said it shocks the conscience. Nigga, you a cop. You've seen worse shit than this.
You've done.
That, too. This is being taken very seriously by our department, said Weddington. And then just some, facts. Transgender people face very high rates of violence and homicide. In 2018, at least 26 transgender individuals, most of whom were black transgender women, were killed through acts of violence. Booker did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but has since thanked her friends for their support in a Facebook post. Thank you to all my genuine friends that been with me through this journey and knowing the real me, knowing nobody deserves that, she wrote. Of course, also on Facebook, Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings said he's extremely angry about what appears to be mob violence. Yeah, so I think those are all the updates officially now. But yeah, so now we've established that this started over a fucking fender bender.
Yeah.
Someone tried to basically run her over, then pulled a gun on her, and then a crowd gathered to watch it happen, and someone in the crowd is like, yo, I'm gonna give you $200 to fuck that nigga up. And somebody was like, okay, that seems like a good idea. And now here we are.
Yeah, and ready to still follow the story.
Yeah.
This is it is that when I saw that video, I was like, there's no way I have to cover this. This is fucking horrific, and I'm not gonna shy away from like I'm not gonna be like, oh man, black men get enough bad press. You know what? If you were to deliver those same punches to a cis hetero white man over some Jolly Ranchers. And granted, these were peach Jolly Ranchers.
Peach.
And peach. You don't fuck with,
Strawberry's the best one, man.
And I'm not gonna cover that story. But you beating up trans women black trans women in the neighborhood, $200, and you're the nigga that you had 200 whole ass dollars and said this would be a good use of it.
Yeah.
And I would like to archive it in video. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It gets fucking sad, man. And you know what? You remember we had that interaction in the grocery store, and the cashier was a young white male, and was like, oh, if you do this thing with the receipt, I can get good points as an employee. And I was like, I was like, oh yeah, well, it's for the proletariat. And then another white man behind us in line said, yeah, for the worker, man.
That was a good moment. That
Right.
was a good moment.
And then today at work, there's a fucking a white man, and but he's contracted out from out the building, and he's 32 years old, and we're kind of riffing about the machine that we're working on together, and then I'm like, you know what they're doing right now? They're training me to run this machine, but they're not going to give me a raise for it. And he was like, man, that's how the corporations always are in capitalism, man.
Oh, he said capitalism?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like, so many of these white niggas, you know, and I was riffing with Mo Loco and Laura Loco about this. Like, so many of these white niggas be hella down with being against the fucking real macro oppressive systems. And so many of my black folks, you know, at some point, I gotta look at you the way I look at white Republicans. You really think you're temporarily embarrassed millionaires.
Yeah.
You are not gonna wake up Jay-Z one day. You're so fucking not.
Yeah.
You know, you're always going to be oppressed under these systems, and then oppressing each other under these systems. Fuck that.
I appreciate like the timing of that, because quite literally right before we started, someone was angry tweeting at me for not supporting ADOS properly, and you know, Yvette Carnell and Tariq Nasheed and all them, because they support black people, and I was like, how is black capitalism gonna save us?
Man, one of the first things I heard when I first started analyzing Tariq Nasheed, he had like something like there was like a holiday of some sort coming up, and he said, family, what everybody needs to do is hold $1 up and take a picture of yourself holding that dollar.
For why?
I forgot what he articulated as that reason, but I was like, what kind of nonsense pro-capitalist goofy bullshit is that? You telling a whole bunch of poor or maybe lower middle class, if that, black people to hold up $1, because that's like the real black power, some shit like that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, like that fucking the fuck is his name that had the Cloud Anderson guy on his show?
Oh, fucking
Boyce Watkins. We're building black wealth. No, the fuck we're not. Stop it. But it's just like y'all want to talk about, you know, white people this and white people that and white CEOs, and like, you know, there's fucking white people who live in fucking shanties in Appalachia too. You know, like not all white people made it.
Yeah,
like that's how the system is designed.
The first time I saw a food stamp, it was a white family that had them. And I really didn't get it. I was like, because I think it actually says coupon on them.
Oh,
it says
well, not anymore.
Coupon.
Now they give you a debit card.
That's right. Yeah, but this was like
This was like back in the
1994.
day.
Yeah. In Spanaway, Washington State. And there was one of those Hostess outlet stores up the street. And the white kid's mother, they reached in her purse, broke off, maybe like $20 in food coupons. And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe he has money and these are the coupons and we're gonna get a discount. Awesome, let's go get some donuts.
Right, right.
And then he went up to the counter and paid with those, and I was like, what the fuck? Is that money? And he was like, these are food stamps, Billy. You gotta get some of these. Like, these are awesome. Yeah, man.
And yeah, so it's just like, it's really frustrating in that aspect. But then, of course, and I think it's like amplified when talking about the black community, because there's like so many less black people than there are like white people.
Yeah.
Because like with black people, it's like very apparent when people like, I'm not working with no, trans people. I'm not working with no gays. I'm not, men have to lead, all these things. It's like very, I think, amplified within the black community. And it's like, there's white people who are like that too. I don't think we're inherently more divisive. I just think it's more obvious because there's, a smaller amount of us, right? Because like when you think about like the way it's spread out, like you could have like a bunch of like white liberals and the coastal elites, right? And like they might have more progressive views about LGBTQ rights or about women's rights than white Republicans in Alabama. But that doesn't mean the white Republicans in Alabama are any less bigoted just because some cool people in New York City, But yeah, I think like black people sometimes get kind of like a bad rap about that. Like, oh, how come only black people, crabs in a barrel? It's like, well, first of all, why are they in a barrel? Secondly, we're not crabs. Third of all, we're not the only group of people that does this. And it's like, but I think that that's used to justify like a certain amount of anti-blackness, Yeah. Like, oh, black people just can't get it together. And it's like, nigga, shut the fuck. Go listen to your racist grandma's jokes at Thanksgiving. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And then it's like you said, you made me think, because you were like, like you want to get together, coalition, whatnot, but then it's like, but black men have to lead. And it's like, if I were to compartmentalize and just look at what this story we just did, leading looks like a nigga that will spend $200 to get another black person murdered on video by bare hands, and a nigga that's willing to take it, and a bunch of other niggas who aren't getting any of the take, but they're willing to throw some kicks while she's on the ground. This is who you want to lead? These niggas? I think not.
Yeah, it's a very sad story, just fucking all around. I'm so disappointed, and I just,
But goddamn it, she's alive.
She's alive.
Yeah.
For now.
For now, because they did say get her out of our hood. And you know how fucking, excuse my language, fucking dumb niggas, fucking dumb hood niggas, how they can be like, oh man, she caused these problems.
Right.
So now they want to retaliate on her for what they did to her.
Yeah.
Is what I'm assuming is going to happen next time she tries to step out her door in her own neighborhood.
Oh yeah, she is definitely going to be blamed for increased police presence.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then of course, because police are police, like God only fucking knows what's going to happen like this next week while they're investigating this, right? So like, are they going to I was here to find out about this trans woman, but I had time to stop here, and I think maybe I know you. I think maybe it looks like you have a weapon. I think maybe it looks like you're selling to, framing niggas up, beating niggas down, that type of shit. And yeah, she's definitely gonna get blamed for that.
Yeah, nigga, it's not like she had a magnetic back that pulled your fucking foot to it. Nigga, you made a grown-ass man leads decision.
29 years old.
29? Let's see. When I was 29, I think I was actually getting this podcast up off the ground. Yeah, because I turned 30 in 2013. So yeah, when I was 29 was 2012, and I was literally getting this podcast started. So basically, I was talking about trans rights in a Muslim country where they wanted to deport all trans women. That was my 29. Well, I don't know, folks. But there you go. So now I think that's probably, I'm not even fucking around. This is probably some of the most responsible coverage you're gonna find on Malaysia Booker out there. Because I did look for some coverage out there, and there is some fucking bullshit out there.
Yeah.
All right. So the wine cellar got you. All right. And Phoenix Kalita broke down the timeline thing of events. And the story's not over because she's still alive. Who knows what could happen? She could fucking rap. She could start her own podcast. She could fucking, I don't know, go into playing tennis. Something. Remember, trans people are full-on human beings. They don't just wake up and just trans all day and then go back to bed. These are full human beings. They eat a fucking sandwich. They drink a goddamn juice. They go to the grocery store. They go to the fucking park and bust a cartwheel on that ass. Maybe. I don't know. Now I'm making up shit.
I don't know about cartwheels, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing my body doesn't do shit like that anymore. No. You ever see me in the morning trying to walk down the porch steps to start the day?
Yes.
I've been doing one step at a time like I'm 2 years old.
So do I.
Oh my God.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should have tried to see me trying to fucking garden today, man.
You know what? That's all. Trans folks garden.
Yes.
Trans folks, their knees hurt because they're aging. Not all of them.
Not all.
We've covered those stories.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you have it. Again, whole episode socialized until I think maybe next week we'll start doing it. But over this 3-day weekend, I want to really go through the 63 people that are subscribed to the Patreon and find out how I can find you in privately owned social media so I can just contact you every time we do Patreon only content.
I mean, ask them if they want Patreon only content. Because I honestly feel like at this point, some people are just donating because they like our shit. Like,
And yeah, and they want it to exist for the next person. It is a tax, right?
Yes.
Like I I withheld my loins from breeding into this species, but I'll still pay taxes for fucking schools.
Right.
Because I want somebody that knows something about something to be in government when I'm elderfied. All right.
Good luck with that.
So, paypal.me/PhoenixandWilliam, patreon.com/WineCellarMediaFund. And how about this for an ending to a story about a black trans woman? Live in peace.